Howdy, been a while since we did a shop tour, so I'm responding to those requests. Let's go inside and do a shop tour. Here we are in the showroom, or lack thereof. Supposed to have inventory in here, but we never seem to have inventory. So much for that. Let's walk into the main shop. First of all, people smarter than me have designed this board, which is kick-ass. It helps us stay organized and understand where we are in various projects. Off here on my left, we have final QC bay for Bronco. So those two are done and ready to sell or ready to be delivered. Over here, we have the Bronco production area. So we generally build them 4 at a time. And this first rack that's empty is generally for pre-assembly and QC of the original body. And then once we finish at that station, there's like a bunch of fixtures and jigs for reconfiguring the body. And as they're finished there, they'll roll through these other bays. So final assembly, body meets chassis. Here you see Anthony working on one of our dash modules. So basically what ends up happening is the dashes are pre-built as a sub-assembly and then brought to the primary assembly once we've finished all this work. So that allows us to do the gauges, the switch gear, and the electronics and have it all lined up and sexy. So also it helps in the future because if you're going to update your dash, or let's say you do an iPad or something in the dash, that makes it far easier to adapt and evolve. So this truck's just got placed on the chassis last week, so now we're fine-tuning powertrain integration and all that good stuff. This white one's a little bit further along in process. This one should be running this week, so we're pretty deep into final assembly. See the bay's pretty much dressed. We haven't put our data tag on there yet, so that tells me it's not fully done. So there's that. And then generally there's 1 or 2 chassis being built concurrently. But right now the chassis are out at powder coat. Then these next 2 bays are the new section for the Icon TR or Thrift Master. So we expanded the shop recently, hence this tour, and added 6 new bays. So this used to be the FJ zone. Now it's used for TR. And then as we get further along, you'll see it's used by the derelict and reformer processes. So this one's in the mock fit phase where we make sure everything's getting along well together. We do a combination of the original sheet metal with the replacement aftermarket sheet metal. In this case, the bed is new, the rest of the body is all original. It's powertrain, pre-fit. We've rerouted the Hydra Boost to a firewall mount, so this is the first TR getting that. Versus this TR, which is the done TR. This one's all good and all done and getting shipped out this week. Yay! Next to that's my beloved wagon. That's the very first derelict we did. It's a 52 Chrysler Town & Country that I grafted on a 52 DeSoto front clip because, I don't know, because I liked it. I think the TNC front clips are pretty hideous. But super cool car, love it. I put about 30,000 miles on it. That one runs a 6.1 SRT8 Hemi Fueling. Here we have one of Brooks Stevens' masterpieces, a 41 Cadillac Sedanette. This will be a derelict. So we finished the chassis engineering in CAD. Now it's all been pre-fit. Now we're working through the finer details as far as routing, electrical, and audio, and all that good stuff. Next step, that'll get torn down, blown apart for powder coat, ceramic coat, paint, upholstery. Actually, not paint, it's a derelict. This is going to be a really neat one. So here's the front clip, and then here's the rest of it. So this is a 49 Mercury Coupe, kind of a famous car. Everyone loves the 49 to 51 Mercs. This is a Icon derelict, but it's going to be a pretty disruptive one. So this one is being built as a pure electric. Electric power steering, electric AC, twin electric motors, and the idea is to build a Tesla killer with some character and charm. Chassis on this one's pretty radical. This is a four-wheel independent Art Morrison chassis. Here you see some body mods being done to integrate that chassis properly. This car is just in insane condition. Not an ounce of rust anywhere. It's just insane. Sometimes you can't really tell what you got until you get it all the way apart, but it turns out this body is just absolutely phenomenal. So we're stoked we got so lucky, especially in such an important project. So more on that one soon. You'll see it coming together. Meanwhile, a lot of the parts are spread out on the ground while we get everything together. Over here we have our pretty primitive fab area. If we don't build something in CNC, then it's hand built here. My tools are pretty primitive. We have everything from planishing hammers, English wheels, bead rollers, punches, shears, mill, lathe. Here's my new sexy HD plasma table that's CAD CAM controlled. Although my guys still seem to really love and not want to let go of this one, which is pretty outdated but kick ass. You basically do a white paper pattern and place it right here on this table, and then the optic head will read the contrast between the black table and the pattern and then cut it via the plasma torch head. Great tool. I recommend that tool for anyone. And then our cheesy crush bender, which we don't really use much more. And then we got one of those JD squares. But again, exhaust nowadays is going to production facilities like Borla, where they really complement our quality. Can't go past this without talking about it. Not an Icon project, merely me being a geek. I've always loved the 2002 BMWs. I stumbled into this car, and it's just such a great little car. I'm leaving her dead stock, driving it, enjoying it, but secretly also trying to get inspiration, because I do have some aspirations for this platform with Icon. I think we could do some really interesting stuff. Let's see, now to confuse everyone, we'll go through the TLC department. So TLC was our first brand. It's been around over 20 years doing vintage Toyota Land Cruisers, restoration, sales, service, and parts. And it's kind of a general mix of stuff going on here. We've also finding that it's getting harder and harder to find proper examples of the Land Cruisers, and they're arguably getting quite overvalued pre-restoration. So we're starting to expand this brand to embrace various vintage utility vehicles, like whatever. I mean, it could be an old station wagon or a pickup or a 4x. It could be German, it could be American. It really doesn't matter, but my thinking is to start focusing on virgins. So just the nicest, all original examples that we can find that will give a clean bill of health and basic service to, and then put on the market and let people decide. This truck sold recently. This is a Brazilian Bandeirante based resto mod, so we imported the body from Brazil and built it on an FJ45 LV. You guys probably already know this truck. This one was so much fun to build. So this is the first D200 Icon crew cab Dodge. This truck's on its way to the United Arab Emirates, so it's just sitting here waiting for the plane to land so we can go load it up. So she's all kitted up and ready to rock. Such a gorgeous truck. Really loved building this. It's inspired a few more. We're doing a F250 based design right now. Oh, whoopsies, I slipped and fell on yet another 2002. That one's a roundy though, so kind of a cooler year. Although now I got to figure out which one to keep and which one to sell, because the early one I got super nice and quicker, but that one has a crazy pedigree, so I don't know. Here is the new FJ section. So in the old days, well, as of a couple weeks ago, old days, this area was all parts pallet racks. But by moving the FJ team over here, we were allowed to expand the team in size, had a couple more guys, and also to do a significant expansion with the Derelict and Reformer, or D&R program. So there's an FJ44, there was another 44 we walked by, Here's a nice little 40 shorty we're doing. This one's going to be really cool. It's almost done. So here we are in the south lot. Most of the vehicles here are for TLC, but there's a couple Icon projects sitting over here as well. This one's going to be super cool. Early shovel nose, Kaiser Jeep transition. So we're doing a reformer out of that. There's an Icon FJ45 pickup back for resale. And then as you move on down this line, pretty much all TLC stuff that's here to be done up. I think I've got a couple more Icons hiding over here too. Let's see here. It's an employee's 4Runner, so don't geek out, all you 4Runner guys. Oh my God, we are doing a 4Runner through TLC, but not that one. Here's a couple Thrift Masters still in their original shape that we've got in line to be restored here in the near future. This is something cool. I just stumbled into this the other day and bought it. Well, I'm kind of an idiot, but whatever, that's another story. So 100% original short bed Ford. I think it was a 73 4x4, really rare truck. And then a couple more. This is a gorgeous Virgin Bronco, 7,700 original miles. We bought it for Icon, but it's just too nice to take apart, so we're going to leave that stock. It's cool 68 GT Mustang. We're supposed to have done a project with Ford and the McQueen family, but it got too complicated, so I passed. So that's on the site and available for commission, or I'm actually also ready to sell it as is. This one's super cool, 63 275 GTE Ferrari we're doing a build on. This one's unsold, but one of my personal favorites, the old early 1800 series Volvo. This is a 63, the first year, which has a bunch of really cool details. My friend just found this cool, all original Ford Lightning, so I'm not going to screw with it. I'm just helping him store it until he gets back to town. 3-door Suburban, that'll be an Icon reformer. Then hiding next to it, this belonged to a neighbor of mine, and I've just always loved the model. She didn't want to deal with selling it, so I'm helping her sell it off. Not through the company, just on the side. Here's a 96 FZJ80 with lockers, really nice one. It was actually my son's car, and he had a summer job, so he just saved up enough to buy something a little more Ricky Racers, so we're going to be selling that here shortly. Over here are a bunch of DNR, or derelict and reformer projects in waiting. So 54 DeSoto wagon, 60s International Travelette crew cab, which we're selling as is, to really rare 47 Pontiac with factory heated seat and rear wiper, which I've never seen before. 47 Hudson pickup, that's available. 50 Packard coupe, that's available. Hudson coupe sold. Going to be derelict. 50 Studebaker Raymond Loewy. Check out that crazy nose. These were actually, it's been written that Loewy was inspired by the P-51 Mustangs, and once you hear that story, you can't stop seeing those details. 34 DeSoto Airflow Coupe, stupid rare. I was thinking about building that to keep, but I don't know if it's going to happen. And then this cool Catalina wagon, safari wagon, all original. I just stumbled into it and grabbed it. This is a really big project we're doing that I'm super excited about. 37 Lincoln Zephyr Schwing, just magical. And then next to it, these two Diamond T pickups. We will be building one really epic one out of it, and we'll leave it as a derelict, and that's on the books to be done as well. At the end of the line is this very strange kind of cartoon looking funky old delivery truck, and my hunters found it. I shouldn't have bought it. I actually spent more money getting the damn thing here from a backyard in Rhode Island than I did on buying it. But it's aluminum bodied, and it's made by a company called Ward, which is my last name. So being a sucker for early Coeys and cab Fords and RVs and stuff, I bought that. Now I got to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with it. Here's some leftover parts from a Thrift Master I'm going to have to deal with selling off and getting rid of. If you need anything, let me know. This one's pretty cool. Custom cab, step side, short bed, 66 Ford. Love those. We're building a crew cab, and the crew cab came to us with a step side and it just did not look right. So I actually bought this truck and stole its bed and then reattached the step side bed from the crew cab on it, and voila, should be a second project. This is, boy, I don't know. A friend of mine gave me this Airstream and we're thinking about doing a big crazy project with it. The reality is, heck with that. I'll wait and do one when a client orders one. Just don't have the bandwidth to deal with it. So we're gonna sell that off for charity here soon. A couple leftover chassis from the DNR program. 50 Merc, 46, what is it, Oldsmobile, employee storage Jeep. And then here we have just a ton of Broncos that, for the most part, I think actually all of them are original paint. And these are here waiting their turn to go through the icon build process. It's about another 20 of them in the remote lot, and then we're still hunting for more. They're getting really hard to find, kind of frustrating. These pine trees suck. They're just pissing. I see you guys have assembled to show our YouTube followers how hard you all work. Slackers sitting on your ass, chilling in the shade. Que onda, güero. And then we moved the project managers for DNR and parts over into this new office space. And then here's our lovely, beautifully organized, if I might say so myself, new parts section. And the idea was to isolate the TLC parts from the icon parts, otherwise it just becomes such a big old mess. So we're refreshing the computer system and got everything up and off the ground. And that's pretty much it. I suppose that is enough of this nonsense. And as always, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to follow my silly brand. There I am. Take care. Hope you enjoyed the tour. See ya.